Hey everybody. I figured I'd do a quick video catch up on what I was doing this week. Right now I am currently boiling this tiny O-ring. Little trick I figured out when I was shift linkage in Lotus Esprit. The boots are really tight. Anyway, you boil them in hot water, and then you it makes the plastic more flexible, and you can get the O-rings over things easier. So what we got going on here is the brake proportioning valve rebuild. The kit comes with the O-rings that go on here and this handy bullet. This little black bullet that slides over top of this, so you can get this tiny O-ring into this groove right there. I found a write-up on it. I had no idea what this bullet was for, but I found the write-up that was online about rebuilding this, and it says use that and some grease. We should be able to, with this warmed up O-ring, push it on there. Now there is a direction that has to go on, so we'll make sure we get that done right. But anyway, I'll show you when I'm further along. Okay, so just like that. So you basically take the little grease packet that comes in the rebuild kit, warmed up the grommet through the little bullet on the end there, and you can see it's flared out. You want that flare, that widening away from the spring side, according to the rebuild. They clamped it in a vise and used enlarging sockets to kind of push it down evenly, but with the hot water trick and the grease, I was able to just squeeze it over just with my fingers. So doesn't get safer than that for putting a grommet on there. But yeah, that little bullet thing, I'm glad I found out what that was for, because I was like, this is weird. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, worked out well. So now I'm just going to get that rebuilt. I'm going to have to rebuild this bracket, though. It's completely way too thin and rusty. So I'm going to rebuild that out of some probably some 16 gauge steel. Get it all put back together, spray it. There's also some information. This thing is so rusty. I got it sandblasted. There's actually, on better quality ones, there's a stamp on the end of this nut that goes on the top of here that gives you the pressure rating and everything from the factory. And you can adjust that apparently, but you have to have proper tooling. But as you can see, they adjust it at the factory, and then they epoxy coat the nut so it's not adjustable after the fact. So anywho, yeah, you can see 60 years of living under a car has not been good for the outer surface of this. It's got a very interesting corroded look to it, but it's original to the car, so I'm just going to keep it in there. We'll see how it works. It's just mostly there for panic braking. So like if you jam on the brakes, typically that'll unload the rear end, which can lead to the rear brakes locking up. This is supposed to help prevent that. Beyond that, I'm going to get this put back together. I can give you a tour of what else I did. I bought some wire for replacing the horn wire. I also got I rebuilt the steering box. So got this all rebuilt, pulled it apart, resprayed it. So the horn wire goes into the hole there on that black plate, and then runs through the end of here all the way to the steering wheel. Anyway, that was an ordeal. This had 2 bolts seized in here. As you can imagine, steel bolt into aluminum housing. after 60 years. So this one and this one were completely seized in there. So I ended up having to just put a propane, like a plumbing propane torch, heated up these outer housings like a lot. Once it was all empty, of course. Heated it up a ton, and eventually was able to get a socket wrench, not a socket, but a spanner, a closed-ended spanner on there so it'd hold the nut really well. Then I just banged it with a 5-pound peen until I started to see micro movements, heat, penetrating oil, heat, penetrating oil, over and over and over. Continue to move it with the peen and the wrench. Here, I'll show you what. I had that locked into this vise and basically just used the hammer there, and yeah, had it in there, as you can see, with the smoky and fiery blanket. And this penetrating oil I've found to be very effective. It also has a really good spray, shoots really good and straight, and it seems to bust things loose, especially with heat and stuff combined. But then I was able to get them moving a little bit, moving, and then I threw the impact on it at lowest torque, and I used the little belt file, and cleared up the corrosion and stuff on the other sides of the nut. As you can see there, you can see the shiny bit. Focus. Yeah, so this one was one of the ones that was seized in there. Anyway, it was a ordeal. I really wanted to replace them because there was quite a bit of corrosion and they won't be as strong. Anyway, heat, hammer, impact, penetrating oil, and time, and I was able to weasel those things out of there. It was kind of a pain, and I was concerned because if I snapped those things off, then I would have been welding stuff onto them and trying that. I mean, that would have worked too eventually, I'm sure, but anyway, got that rebuilt. The bearings were okay. The bushings were fine. I didn't bother replacing the brass bushings. These are the brass bushings that would go in there, but the ones that were in there were good. I wish the kit came with new bearings. The race and the bearings on the wet side, there wasn't a lot of oil in that thing, were a little questionable, but I'm okay. I ended up going off of George Dill's recommendation off of a Volvo forum for the oil. This one, Lucas engine oil stop leak additive, no harmful solvents. Because the issue with, I was just going to stick the same stuff I put in the differential into it, but the differential oil has like sulfurs and additives and crap in it, and apparently that sulfur and stuff messes up the brass bushings. So the oil additive is very thick. It's not going to leak because it would, you could probably not even have gaskets in this thing and it wouldn't leak. But anyway, I got so we put new seals in on the end on all the shaft push throughs there. Those are kind of a pain to get out as well. Had to sharpen a chisel and carefully kind of cut them with the chisel. Yeah, it was a thing. They were seized in there pretty good as well. And then pushed the new seals in, resprayed the shaft and the top plate. Got some grade 8 hardware to go on, which interestingly enough, some of these bolts were metric. So there's a weird mix of metric and imperial on this car. I don't know what that's about. I guess because parts were coming from Europe and it was manufactured in Canada when we were still doing imperial, I guess. Anyway, interesting. So that's rebuilt, and I'll get this rebuilt And then, oh shoot, I was filming that whole thing vertical. Sorry about that. This will get, I'll put this together quickly and then, yeah, should be good. Okay, there we have it. Got it all assembled. I used a little vise there, just kind of clamped it together, spring. Built this bracket from the old one that was super thin and not good. And yeah, I'm gonna get this cleaned up, get the grease off of it. I kind of just put a light coating of grease on the spring in here and on the O-rings and stuff in on the proportioning valve to get that. I should have cleaned up a little here. There must be a little bent or remaining bit, but anyway, there she is. It's put together properly, this bracket aiming back and opposing the outer brake line inputs. So I'm just going to get the wax and grease cleaner, clean it up, throw a couple of coats of flat black on it, and yeah, call it good. I'm going to plug these up though so I don't get paint in there. And that should be it. Then I can kind of continue on with the brake line installation, and from there I'll get the from there I'll get the car cleaned up, the metal work done and cleaned up, and then I got a bunch of cans of red oxide primer, and I got a can to mix the paint, and I'm going to start painting the floors in the car that the metalwork was done on and in the engine bay. Take the fenders off of the front and get the cowls and stuff all done, and then I can start put the brake master cylinder in, bleed the brakes, get the rolling chassis on with brakes, put the e-brake in, and or the handbrake, and then yeah, just kind of keep putting things back together essentially. But yeah, I think we'll leave it here. I'll give you an update later on the paint, maybe when I do some more brake line work. But yeah, rear proportioning valve, 67 Volvo Amazon. I probably should have found a better one, but the thing sliding in and out, the inside of it was fine, so we'll put some paint on it. Get another 60 years out of it? I don't know, who knows? Anyway, signing out.